Hi, I'm Alan Sagano. I'm the president of ADS Consulting Group, and this is the fourth video in a series of videos that is talking about kind of picking apart the spreadsheet that Department of Homeland Security sent about advanced persistent threats coming from Iran. So we're going to go into the next column, which is persistence. So let's take a look at persistence. Hi, I'm Alan Sagano. I'm the president of ADS Consulting Group, and today we're talking about the spreadsheet that was developed by Homeland Security about advanced persistent threats coming out of Iran. And we're talking today about the persistence column. So a lot of these are examples of persistent threats that are coming through. If we look at a lot of these, probably the most scary ones are registry hacks, scheduled tasks again, valid accounts, and web shell. So let's dive into each one of these and see what happened and how they got in. So for persistence on the APT 33, I don't know if we have, yeah, we do have APT deployed a known tool called Dark Comet from the startup folder for the victim. They also ran a scheduled task to run multiple times a day. And as well as valid accounts, use valid accounts for initial access and privilege escalation. Privilege escalation, of course, is when you take an account that is just a regular user and add it to administrators group or domain admins or schema admins, infrastructure or any type of privileged account. So if you're talking with Active Directory. So those are the ones that are in here. Let's look at the ones on 34. For persistence, they had external remote access. So use the remote services such as VPN, Citrix, or OWA to persist in an environment. For anything that's coming from the outside, we consider multi-factor authentication a must. So that is a way you can protect yourself with people coming from the outside, and that includes OWA, by the way. They also use, it looks like they had redundant access. So redundant access basically is used when you put a backdoor in, right? So once you get in, you can come back in case in case they close the front door. So OilRig has used RGDoor via web shell to establish redundant access. The group has also harvested credentials to gain access to internet accessible resources, as well as scheduled tasks as well. And Charming Kittens, they used registry keys in the run folder. So that's a really common way, especially for malware to load, is you put it in the run key, so the next time your computer starts up, it loads bad stuff on your computer. APT 39 had run keys, registry compromises in the startup folder. The other thing they'll do here is put it in the startup folder, so in case an account, if the process is killed, it starts right back up again when the computer's rebooted. Scheduled tasks again, in case something didn't run right, they'll make sure it runs again with a scheduled task. Shortcut modifications, modified some link to shortcuts they had on their desktop. Valid accounts, used stolen creds to compromise OWA. Web shell, used Antac and ASPX spy web shells as backdoors. Copy kittens, let's see, persistence, really nothing on copy kittens. So if we're going to look at this, run keys, scheduled tasks, valid accounts, web shell, external remote execution. For these, obviously you want to run a really good malware on your anti-malware program. We like WebRoot, although there are other ones that are out there that are really good to prevent against malware from getting on your computer in the first place. Make sure that they're up to date with the latest patches and latest versions and latest patterns. Also, for valid accounts, we recommend, again, just like with the initial access, make sure that you have multi-factor authentication. And we like something that doesn't use a text message as a second factor. We like Google Authenticator. We use Duo. We really like Duo because all the traffic is encrypted. It's a little bit tougher to intercept than something like a text message. You can, depending on if you have Depending on how much control you have on your computer, you might be able to block the run keys from the startup folder. Again, also for these types of tasks I mentioned in the other one with execution, that you can run something like Jeremy Moskowitz's policy pack and only whitelist known programs. So these programs that it doesn't know anything about just aren't going to run on your computer, period. All of those can be used to protect against persistence. The other thing that's scary about persistence is it's important to identify this stuff sooner than later, because you can, for example, we had a client that's a bank, and they were going through a pen test, and they were clean, and then one of the admins was doing his normal job, and he was pushing out patches, and it just so happened that the computer that was using to push out patches, when he logged in, didn't encrypt creds in memory, and boom, that's how they got in. So persistence is very important, because just because they're not getting in right now, they might be waiting for something that runs once a week, once a month, once a quarter, that can put your network in danger. So that's why it's important to pick up on these things before badness happens. And that's why it's really important to have eyes on. You can also use a SIM, a Security Information Event Manager, to monitor some of this stuff and pick up on scary stuff. A syslogger also would be useful in this case to figure out, on critical computers what happened. It may be helpful also for forensics as well. But so those are some of the things that you can do to guard against persistence. Hopefully you like this content. Hopefully you picked up a few tips. If you do, please hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep making this content. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.